What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 186 of the Nerd Cave podcast. I am one of your hosts, Derek Diamond, joined along with my good friend,
Zach Dye.
Zach, how have you been?
Been doing excellent, man. Had a week off. I needed it.
Oh, fantastic.
Recharged the batteries. Hopefully won't murder anybody tomorrow.
Well, it is Monday, and you are going back after a week off, so
Yeah.
I can imagine tensions will be at an all-time high. So
Yeah, I'm hoping that it will go well. Just really don't want to go back. I don't know anyone that wants to go back.
yeah,
You know, if it was like a month off, then yeah, I could see, okay, I'm ready to get back in the saddle. But a week, you just want another week.
yeah.
You know, that's just how it feels.
I'm the same way. I've been off work since Wednesday, so going back tomorrow. It's weird. I'm going back to work tomorrow, and then I have Tuesday off because I have like a doctor's appointment and has to work on my car or whatever. But yeah, it's going to be weird, like going back to work for a day, then having a day off, then going back.
Yeah, those are always the hardest, like missing like early in the week. You always want to miss later in the week.
Yeah.
Like a Friday.
Friday was good.
Or a Monday. Like those are the 2 days you want to miss on.
I try to take either a Friday or a Monday off if I can. So, but no, things are going well. Got a couple more weeks left. Going to Disney in a couple of weeks.
That's fun.
In early December, so get to go see all the Christmas stuff, and supposedly they have a lot of cool Star Wars stuff now in prep for Rogue One. So
Nice.
really happy to see that.
Fight Mickey.
Might take over the Nerd Cave Instagram while I'm in Disney and
You should.
post some cool photos.
You should.
Outdo Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie could not be here, unfortunately.
We killed him.
We killed him. Yes.
Yeah. There you go. He's
Yeah.
dead.
But no, he's celebrating a late Thanksgiving with his family. So
Which would be super cool.
super. But as far as news goes, we do have a couple of sad tidbits to start off the show.
This year has just been really, really crappy.
It's been brutal with celebrity deaths.
Like, it is like every time you turn around, somebody is dying on us.
Yeah.
And the two this week are kind of patriarchal and matriarchal type figures in television.
One arguably the most matriarch, like most iconic matriarch of all time in television.
And speaking of her, the Brady Bunch star Florence Henderson dies at 82. She played Carol Brady on the ABC series. It passed away on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, after suffering heart failure, according to Henderson's manager, Kayla Pressman. She was on the Brady Bunch from 69 to 74 and played the grandma in the Brady Bunch movie in 1995. Anytime you talk about a mother on TV, it's her.
Yeah, she's definitely up there. And she looked good for 82.
Yeah,
like, she didn't look that old at all.
No, she didn't. And it's kind of crazy to see all of these people that, you know, most people our age didn't necessarily grow up on the Brady Bunch, but my mother loved watching old television, so I saw enough of the Brady Bunch to know what was going on. So hearing about that, and 82 is not that old when it comes down to it. You know, once you get up to closer to 100, yeah, that gets a little bit older, but 82 and passing away on Thanksgiving, you know, when
that's
you're
rough.
Time for friends and family, that's a hard thing to do. So my prayers and thoughts, and I know yours, go out to her friends and family. So just be keeping those people in your thoughts. And one other man, like, it just kept coming. Ron Glass, the television star who played Shepherd Darrell Brooke in Firefly, has died. He was 71. Variety received confirmation of Glass' death by actor's representative, but no additional details regarding the cause or location of his death were disclosed. So don't really know what was going on. He was 71, so could speculate a lot of things, but you know, that sucks.
He was one of my favorite characters in that show.
Yeah,
him and Wash were my two favorites.
Yeah,
but it's crazy because my thought was, you know, after he passed away, because this was very recent, it makes you wonder who else, because death happens in threes.
Yeah.
So you wonder if, you know, after we finish recording this,
Who else is going to die?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's been absolutely brutal for celebrity deaths.
Bowie this year.
Yep.
I can't think of
Prince.
Prince, yeah.
It's been rough.
It is. 2016 can't get over with soon enough.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
So, our condolences to the friends and family of both of those great people.
Yes.
Now, you did something this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You went to a convention, a furry convention, as I was told.
A furry convention?
A furry convention. Brett Brooks was there, just living it up.
He was actually dressed up as Dust Bunny.
He was.
But I just knew it was him.
Yeah.
We just have that connection.
It's just staring at you.
Yeah. Just staring. I'm like, oh, that's Brett Brooks. Shout out to Brett Brooks if you're watching and or listening.
Yeah.
But no, I went to, to kind of backtrack a little bit, I read about this convention months ago. It's called Heroes and Villains Fan Fest. Mm-hmm. And they have different locations throughout the year. I think they're in Portland sometime early next year. They're going to London, New York. Well, they happen to be in Atlanta. And my girlfriend surprised me about a month ago, and she was like, hey, I got us tickets to Heroes and Villains Fan Fest.
Hey,
and I'm
that's
like,
awesome.
I get to meet the Green Arrow. So we went...
still call him Arrow.
Or the Hood, the Vigilante. He has so many nicknames. So we went...
Sexy man beast.
He is quite attractive. And I will say, that man is an angel. He is not just nicest celebrities, one of the nicest people that I've ever met. He was extremely kind to all the people who waited in line because some waited for a whole day.
Dang.
Especially on Sunday, because he didn't get there until Saturday afternoon because of changing his filming schedule, so he didn't get to fly until Saturday morning and didn't get there till 1 or 2 on Saturday afternoon. So Sunday was kind of like the Emil day. Mm-hmm. That's when his panel was. That's when everybody was trying to get his autograph. We got there early. As soon as they opened the doors, we went right over to his line. And we waited, and it was about to be our turn, and then they had to take him to his panel.
Dang.
But what happened was they were handing out Post-it notes, and they would write numbers on them. So whenever you could come back, you give the guy your Post-it note, and then you could get back in line. Well, I was the number one person.
Number one, Derek, number one.
Yes, exactly. So as soon as the panel was wrapping up, we went back over, got in line, waited. And it's funny because I was talking with somebody who was in line behind us, and then I turn around, and then he's right there, 4 feet away at his table, and I'm like... But no, he was really cool. Got a nice season 1 Arrow picture with the face paint and everything signed by him. Met Matt Ryan, who played Constantine, another super nice guy. He'll be at Pensacon this February, so I'm really excited to see him again. Let's see. Met Jason Momoa, who played Aquaman.
And
very nice.
Paul Drago.
Very soft-spoken guy, but very nice.
Really? I would not imagine that. He is such a powerful force when he's on camera.
He is huge. He is a very large man. And
did you ask him to cuddle?
I thought about it, but I got too scared.
It's I want to feel your muscly biceps.
I would say what I said to you, but it's not appropriate for this podcast, but I thought it was very funny. No, he didn't say too much, but he was, again, a really nice guy. Mm-hmm. And then I got to meet Dave Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
Former WWE wrestler.
I'll do it just for Robbie.
There's a funny story behind that. So, again, like Jason Momoa, he's a very soft-spoken guy, but he was really nice. Shook his hand, told him that I was a big fan of his work in WWE, and he's like, oh, thanks, I appreciate it. And then, that was pretty much it. But everybody there was really cool. I didn't get to meet a ton of the celebrities, but
they were meet Diggle too, right?
I did not, unfortunately.
Okay.
Funny story. Have you watched any of Arrow Season 4?
A little bit.
Okay, so you know who Damien Dark is?
Yes.
Okay, the guy who plays him was there. We were waiting in line. This was before Emil went to his panel. We're sitting there waiting in line. So say his table is right here.
Yeah.
We're waiting in line here, and there's a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And the line kind of goes in a crisscross pattern.
Yeah.
Like that. The person standing right here is next to a curtain. which behind the curtain is like a 3-foot walkway for the celebs, to go back and use the bathroom and everything.
Just pee behind the curtain. Just goes back there and just pisses the floor.
That would be awesome. So anyway, Neil McDonough, the guy who plays Damien Dark, walks by, and this woman's standing like right next to the curtain, like her back is touching it. He walks by and he goes, "Bah!" and walks away, and it scares the crap out of her. And he just no-sells it. He just keeps walking straight forward, like doesn't look back or anything.
That's
it was
great.
Awesome. But it was a really, really fun experience. It was the first time since 2013 that I've gone to a convention as a fan, so it was nice.
Totally different, right?
Yes, totally different.
Now, you said you had a story about Robbie.
Okay, so you did the Batista thing for Robbie. That's because for those who haven't ever watched wrestling, excuse me, I'm recovering from a sinus infection too.
It's okay.
So when Batista comes out, he'll have lots of pyro shoot off behind him, and he'll crouch down on his knees and he'll move his hands like this and slap his chest and throw his hands up. So we go bowling one night. This is pre-podcast days. Robbie bowls a strike and then turns around and does the Batista thing. So now anytime I see Batista do that, if I watch like old clips, I automatically think of Robbie, not Batista. So thanks, Robbie.
Wow, Robbie is a douche. I love you, man. I love you. Now, speaking of conventions, we had a question from one of our awesome community members, Lauren Strickland. She asked,
who was also there.
Yes,
I didn't see her, but I was there.
She's like, as she said, I'd like to hear about Heroes and Villains. Is it Fan Fest?
Yes.
Okay, from Derek. Also, we just talked about that. Also, to get a take on the convention business as a whole, likes, dislikes, gripes, complaints, best con experience, etc. So, you've seen a little bit more on the back end of it than I have, but we've went to several conventions as a whole. So, I'll let you start it.
As far as my overall take on the convention business, I mean, I love going, both as a fan and as a podcast or media corporation. From a fan's perspective, the thing I like the most about it is you get to meet people that, one, you watch on TV now, or that you grew up watching.
Yeah.
So that aspect is awesome. As far as going as the Nerd Cave, getting to interview those people is a really fun experience. Dislikes, sometimes the people you meet aren't who you thought they were, and that can kind of ruin your view of... I'm not going to name names, but there have been people that I've met who end up being total douchebags. And when I try and watch like an episode of their show or their movie...
You always think of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It kind of taints your view of it.
Yeah, don't meet your heroes.
Exactly.
That's. I've been fortunate enough because I talked about this on. It was a Let's Play that's going up sometime in the next few weeks about meeting heroes, and I've been fortunate enough. Majority of my heroes have been awesome.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith, awesome. Greg Miller, awesome. Kind of funny guys, just real down to earth kind of people. And then there's been people that just.
They suck.
Yeah, they do, and it like I said, it taints what you like, and everything. So
yeah,
I know Robbie would attest to that as well.
Oh yeah, Robbie has a pretty good story. Like he's had probably a worse experience than either of us have had.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think you know which one I'm talking about.
I know exactly which one. That one was. That almost made me want to go punch that guy in the face.
I like to think though that's kind of that's like an extreme situation.
Yeah, I would agree.
Let's see. Likes, dislikes, gripes. Sometimes things are way too expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I will say my gripe about heroes and villains, all the autographs were very expensive.
Really?
Even, I'll say, like the minor Arrow characters were charging like $40.
Jeez. That's like freaking Peter Mayhew right there.
I know.
Or Billy D. Williams.
Like, Emil's was more expensive and Momoa's was more expensive.
I can understand that.
Oh, and Batista's was too.
Yeah.
Those three I could understand. Emil is your headliner.
Yeah.
Momoa is going to be in a major movie and has been in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And Batista has been in arguably the most successful Marvel movie ever.
Yeah.
And was also a WWE wrestler and a former world champion.
Yeah.
So those those made sense. But the
Yeah.
other ones, because I had a list of who I wanted to get. And when I went around and looked at all the prices, I'm like,
I can only afford this
I'm going to
many.
have to cut this down quite a bit. So
Yeah. It's that kind of thing annoys me because like you're not going to get it handed out to you, but there comes a time and place where there should be some type of line drawn.
I understand there's a business side to it, but I also think that there's a certain line where it's too much.
Yeah, I know from listening to, oh my God, what was Ming Chen and Mike Zapsik's podcast.
Crap. Ming Chen was there. I didn't talk to him, but he was at...
Talked to him on the phone before.
You have. You called the comic store, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash.
Secret Stash, yeah.
Mike and Ming have went to a lot of conventions of late, and they were talking about, this is a long time ago, how you have to, like, you're supposed to meet a certain amount of money, like, with your autographs and everything, because if you don't, there's a clause in most people's contracts where the convention has to pay you if you don't. Like, if you hit that cap, awesome, whatever, you get past that is, good. But if you don't hit that line and they're having to pay you, they don't ask you back.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they do it, but
Yeah.
you can turn a lot bigger volume.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me on that one.
Best con experience, Heroes and Villains was up there. Dragon Con, when I went, was a lot of fun just because it was like a whole new thing for me, because that was only the second convention I had ever been to. And it's
Paracon was the first one.
Yes. So going from that to Dragon Con, you go from the fairgrounds in Pensacola to
With no AC.
5 hotels in downtown Atlanta is a whole different beast.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to meet like a lot of cool people. I got to meet Brent Spiner, who played Data, Michael Dorn, who played Worf. A lot of cool people. So Dragon Con would probably be my favorite experience as a fan. As far as working, that's tough. I would say, I mean, the Pensacons have all been fun in their own way.
Yeah.
Like for different reasons. So I would just say Pensacon as a whole would be my favorite.
Second year Pensacon would be my favorite. Like that one was still kind of Wild Westy.
Yeah.
I remember the first one. I went around with the recorder and just it's like boom, 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 and got all these interviews. But the second one I think was the most fun, just because we had a little bit more access than we did last year, and it was not as difficult to deal with some people. But yeah, I would say Pensacon, and I'm gonna give a shout out Fanaticon first year.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
getting to meet like Brett Brooks, Jason Woodham, guys that we still talk to this day.
Yeah,
was a lot of fun. The last Fanaticon, well, the 2014 one, the one when Johnny Young Bosch was there, that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
because that was our first panel that we ever did.
Yeah, it was. So we have grown as well with these conventions, so it's pretty interesting. But I think my favorite con is not even a comic book convention or a convention that most people would. VidCon would be my favorite convention. Getting to go out to California, meeting all these people that I get to do collabs with and everything, from time to time is really fun, and I talk to them on a regular basis. So it was a great learning experience. The vendor floor was just freaking mad, like just crazy, and getting to meet all of these people that I've looked at, and for a really long time, getting to see Markiplier. I didn't meet him, like saying that, but VidCon would definitely be my favorite. Just, like, it's ran on like a totally different level.
Yeah,
but it's awesome. So.
Well, cons don't have to be just about like celebrities and comic book artists. They can be about YouTube stuff. You can do a con about anything.
Yeah. Paint drying.
I should start that one.
Yeah, he would be good at it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like either look at Derek or look at the paint dry, and everybody's like, paint?
Yo, paint easily. Heck, I would do that too.
Complaints. People not wearing deodorant and people standing in the freaking way. Those would be my complaints.
I'll say hygiene is up there because I got sick after Heroes and Villains.
Yeah, hygiene is such a big thing with this. It's wear some deodorant, take showers. If you're sick, take some medicine, and try not to get other people sick. Like, I know you're paying money to go to these things, but seriously, be considerate.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest thing. So, we're going to move on. Actually, we'll go ahead and take another question since we're kind of on CW in a way. Okay. Where is that?
There we go.
The time has arrived. And this is Derek Daniel.
Shout out to Earth 2 Derek.
His freaking thesis statements here.
He's got like 6 of them.
The epic 4-night CWDC show crossover is upon us. Do you have any expectations for it, and do you think they should do more of these down the road in the future seasons?
I will preface this by saying I have never watched Supergirl, and I have not watched this season of Legends of Tomorrow. I've heard great things about it, but I just haven't caught up on it yet. Flash has gotten off to a slow start, but the last few weeks have been really good. Arrow has been phenomenal from episode 1 up to now. I'm very excited for it. One, I'm very curious to see how Supergirl interacts like with the Legends and with Oliver, because Flash has been on Supergirl before.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see that dynamic. And it's in addition to the 4-part crossover, it's Arrow's 100th episode.
Oh, that's cool.
And they've released the synopsis for it. Oliver wakes up in a world where he never got on the Queen's Gambit. So he never became the Green Arrow.
Does he know he was Green Arrow, or
that I'm not sure of? My guess would be he does, but like him and Laurel are engaged because remember they were together before he left.
Yeah.
Both his parents are alive, and I don't know if he's going to take the mask off, but they have shown glimpses of Deathstroke.
Ooh.
And if Manu Bennett comes back for this episode, I'm going to flip out.
Oh, I would. I'll put an arrow in his eye.
I made you a promise, kid. But no, I'm really excited for the crossover. I've loved when Flash and Arrow have done theirs, and I hope they do. I hope they do this like once a season.
Yeah,
do like a 4-part crossover with all the shows.
Well, there's no reason not to. You've got all of these properties. Why not use them? Use them to make something really cool.
Yeah,
it's like freaking Super Friends, like the Battle of the Super Friends or whatever it was, like where Legion of Doom and the Super Friends would like fight. Those were the best episodes. Like the Super Friends show was cool, but Battle of the Super, yeah.
I'm really excited for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Haven't caught up with it. So there you go. There you go. Now this news right here hurts me. Hurts me deeply.
It hurts me deeply too.
A Boba Fett, a Star Wars. What? A Boba
That's
Fett.
Nice job, IGN, with the typo.
Man, last week and this week, Boba Fett, a Star Wars story announcement was canceled at the last minute in 2015. Not only was the long-rumored Boba Fett Star Wars anthology movie a growing concern? What is up with these people? Jesus Christ, learn how to write. But a teaser reel was prepped to be shown at Star Wars Celebration 2015 alongside an official announcement before being axed at the last minute following a split between Disney and muted director Josh Trank. Why would you even hire Josh Trank? Jesus Christ, people. Don't you learn? Don't you learn? Josh Trank is the devil. He is the devil. If you're watching this, Josh Trank, I'm sorry, but you suck. The way you handle that whole Fantastic Four thing.
It's the worst comic book adaptation I've ever seen.
Like, not even just the movie, but like how he like spiraled
into
just absurdity.
Yeah.
You know, like the way he handled the interviews with Kevin Smith, I was like, okay, this movie sounds pretty good. You know, and if I was him, I would have been honest, but like, hey, Kevin, I can't do these because this is what happened. This is how everything, and the movie's not going to be any good. You know, I would have been freaking honest with it.
Yeah.
You know, and not even done it. But
Yeah.
the way he spun this thing.
And then, if you remember, he didn't do the fourth part of that interview because it was supposed to be a 4-part episode. And then he just kind of spiraled out of control and went on Twitter and said, oh, this isn't the version that I made.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read that Fox is notorious with micromanaging.
Yeah.
But that whole project was doomed to fail from the beginning.
Well, and him and who was the guy that played Reed Richards? Do you remember?
In the new one?
Yeah.
Miles Teller.
Like apparently him and Josh Trank got in a fist fight.
I remember
on
reading
set.
about
and
that.
it was just all of these kind of crazy things. And I would not blame Fox for coming in and taking control of the movie if their director is literally getting in a fight with the lead actor.
Yeah.
You know. So we previously heard that Trank was attached to the anthology film set to follow Rogue One, a Star Wars story, presumably meaning that Phil Lord and Chris Miller's young Han Solo movie was moved up the schedule from 2020 to 2018. It's unclear when or if a Boba Fett movie will be made. There are possible movies that we're talking a lot about. But we're planning to sit down in January since we will have had The Force Awakens release now, Rogue One, and we finished shooting episode 8. I finished episode 8. God, that's awesome. We have enough information where we can step back a little bit and say, what are we doing? What do we feel is exciting? And what are some of the things we want to explore? And in the meantime, Rogue One hits theaters on December 16th.
Fairly soon.
Yeah. It's right around the bend.
Mm-hmm. This has got to happen. A Boba Fett movie has to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that we were so close to it, can you imagine if they said nothing about it? And then they just boom, here's the trailer for Boba Fett.
Yeah. And they need to do it. Everybody wants to see more of Boba Fett. Boba Fett is probably the coolest character that no one knows a lot about.
Yeah. He's the coolest character in a movie who has done absolutely nothing.
Exactly, except for this.
Yeah.
He's no good to me dead.
Pretty much.
You know, that was about it.
I mean, when they announced they were doing spinoffs, that was the first thing I thought of. I said, I would rather see that than a Han Solo movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easily. Like, the ones that I want a Boba Fett and I want an Obi-Wan.
Ooh, Obi-Wan.
I mean, we've talked about it off and on,
Yeah.
but bring Ewan McGregor back and tell what happened on Tatooine in between episodes 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And hey, in canon, Darth Maul is still alive.
Yeah.
So bring Ray Park back as...
And have a battle between
and
them
have
on
an
Tatooine.
enraged Darth Maul, have them fight at the end of the movie, and then that's when Obi-Wan finally kills him for good.
Yeah. Have broken Matt Hardy as well in the movie.
I'd be okay with that. And all he says is delete.
And he's just like running through the desert.
delete.
I don't know why I brought wrestling into that, but I couldn't help it.
Well, broken Matt Hardy is awesome, so it's okay.
I would want Bane as well.
That would be a very good one, too.
Plagueis. Yeah. Plagueis would be freaking dope.
I feel like with the Bane one, that's an area of Star Wars that's never touched on in the movie. So that would be something completely unique.
Yeah, I think it would be a good way to expand it in a different region. That way we're experiencing a different time. You're not bound to the Skywalker, legacy or anything. It's this totally different area, and you've got all of these Jedi and all of these Sith, and you have this great war.
Yeah.
Like, it would be freaking amazing.
Something that wasn't in that article, but something I read the other day, it's rumored that after Episode 9, they're not going to do any Skywalker saga movies
I saw
anymore
that as
and
well.
focus solely on the spinoffs. What do you think of that?
It kind of depends on what they do with 8 and 9. If everything's wrapped up nicely, okay, let's go on some adventures, If they kind of leave it open-ended, then that nothing's going to stop them from going back to the well again.
And do 10, 11, and 12.
Exactly. And I think the characters that we have Rey, we have Finn, we have Poe, we have these great characters, and Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's going to be a really good bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think having these characters is setting up for a good, dark episode 8, and then, doing the, not necessarily lighthearted 9, but the redemption story that's more than likely going to happen, or, Kylo Ren being ultimately defeated and die. There's only one way out. There's, you're either good or you die. You know? So that's how the bad guys always happen in these movies. So I think it's going to be really cool.
I think so too.
They just need to end it. Like, if they're going to go away from the story,
then wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up. Don't leave any loose ends. Don't leave any bad guys alive or anything like that. Kill Snoke, whatever. Just end it so we can do these one-off movies.
Yeah.
But I think Disney has seen Marvel be so freaking successful and building these movies that tier itself into something that I don't know if they'll do that. They might do a bunch of one-offs and then have something that combines.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. If they can definitively wrap up the story, then great. But I think they'll just be too tempted to go back to the well. Mm-hmm. It might be years from now, but I think we could see, like, maybe a decade goes by where we don't have an episode, if you will, and then they'll go back and say, hey, we're doing a new trilogy with 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah. And Chewbacca should have hugged.
Well, Abrams did come out and said that was a bad decision, which it was. Even I remember the first time I saw it, even I said that, I'm like, why is Leia hugging the girl that she barely knows, but she's not hugging the giant Wookiee who she's known for 30 years?
Yeah, make no sense. Speaking of Wookiees, Star Wars, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, when she's the one that's over everything, likens Han Solo film to Western and heist movies. She goes on to say this movie is closer to a heist or a Western type feel. She was talking to Variety here. She also said they're looking at the paintings of Frederick Remington, an artist who specialized in depicting the Old West, knowing the colors used by the artist will serve as the defining the look for the film. I think that'll be cool. Like, I think
it fits.
Yeah, like Han Solo is known to be kind of like this cowboy-esque, space cowboy type deal.
Yeah.
So I think it works perfectly fine.
I totally agree.
And you've got Donald Glover, coolest man in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. We've said it once again.
And Chewbacca will be making an appearance.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah. Like we talked about that last week. I don't know if you caught that in the last week's episode.
I didn't see that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like in a statement about Emilia Clarke being in it, and it's like, oh, Han Solo and Chewbacca. And I'm like, no one has even said anything, and I can make it a big deal. So Chewie's in there. So I think it'll be cool.
It's bad that, like, I'm going to go see it. Obviously, but for some reason I'm not like overly thrilled with a Han Solo movie, and I don't know if it's because it's not Harrison Ford.
I think it's because we don't know who this dude is.
Yeah,
I can't even say his name.
I can't either. It's Alden something.
Alden Heinrich,
something like that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like his name. Just saying.
I'm sure when the first teaser comes out, it'll look great, and I'll be like, okay, I'm sold.
Now, what was interesting, I just looked here, the movie is actually coming out in May 25th, 2018. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be, I guess they're switching from everything coming out in December, where the episodes come out in December, and then the one-offs coming out in May. I don't know why they're doing that. That seems a little weird.
I actually kind of like them coming out in December now.
I do too. Like, I thought it was an abomination, like they're spitting in the face of George Lucas, but I like it. It's like a Christmas gift before Christmas.
And it's genius on their part because they'll release them right around the time that school gets out for Christmas. Families will go see them multiple times. Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And plus, since it's owned by Disney has Marvel and all their other films sprinkled in the summer and throughout the year. and then December is Star Wars month.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's no reason for them to change the superhero movies being the summer blockbusters. Why put it goes back to how EA screwed the pooch with Battlefield and Titanfall 2, put it in the same month, and then Call of Duty's in there too. So move it out of the way and let it, be the king of quarter 4.
Yeah.
This just makes freaking sense to me.
Yep.
Oh, on to some more news. And I actually like this. I like this. Logan's director says final Wolverine movie, more human, less green screen. The upcoming third and final Wolverine movie, Logan, is looking to avoid the same mistakes found in its 2 predecessors. In the latest issue of Empire, Logan's director James Mangold said the goal was to make something human. We made an effort to scale back on the gloss and green screen. I'm all for that.
Absolutely. I think this movie is going to be really good.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
To me, it will. This is just a prediction, but I think this will be the best, not just Wolverine, but the best X-Men movie that we have seen.
I agree. I think it's going to be great. I thought Wolverine, was it Wolverine? The second one?
The one where he goes to Japan?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I thought that was great.
I enjoyed that movie.
Except for the end. Like that whole...
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
That was bad. But the rest of the movie was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to see this. I think it's going to be a good way to send off Hugh Jackman and set up a reboot for the X-Men. Because it's coming. Like, you can see the writing on the wall.
I think what they need to do after this movie's over is ride the Deadpool wave for a little bit. I mean, you'll have Deadpool 2 coming out, and then I would do a third one to wrap up the trilogy, and then you give it a few-year break, and then you just reboot the whole thing from scratch.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. They're not going to, do the Spider-Man thing where they let Marvel use those characters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see that, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And in a way, I think it would clutter the MCU.
Yeah.
So it comes down to that thing. It's like they're going to be secondary characters to what Marvel has created as their main characters. So,
yeah.
Might as well keep what you got.
I also think whenever they do reboot the X-Men, I would not bring Wolverine in until the sequel.
Oh, yeah. Like, I would leave Wolverine way out of it.
Let all the characters be established on their own, and then bring in Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully Tom Hardy will be the new Wolverine.
I think he'd be good at it.
That's who he wants.
Yeah.
We talked on the phone the other day. After I got off the phone with Finn Jones. Iron Fist.
He won't return my calls.
He says you're creepy.
Understandable.
Logan will be released on March 3rd, 2017. Looking forward
Which
to that.
should be around the time we do our 200th podcast. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
If my math is correct, it will be early March when we do that. So, good time.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Lauren Strickland asked, since we were talking about Marvel movies, I'd like to get a take on what's expected out of the MCU after Phase 3 finishes. You may have covered it. We haven't.
We have not.
What do you think? We're getting Infinity War.
And that's going to be the end of Phase 3, correct?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. When does Infinity War come out? Is that 2017 or 2018? Let's see. Infinity War.
It's great to have a computer right here.
May 4th, 2018. Okay, so we've still got a few movies to go because for Phase 3, we'll still have Guardians 2.
Yep.
We'll have Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
All those will be coming out in 2017,
Yeah.
which is crazy. 2017 is going to be a great year for movies.
Jeez.
You've got all those, and you've got Episode 8 in December.
And one is Justice League coming out then?
In November, yes.
There you go.
2017 is going to be stacked with movies. We'll get another Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I'm excited about because that movie really surprised me.
It did me as well.
It was a lot different than the other Marvel movies. I like Paul Rudd. I thought he was great as that character. We'll get that. Doctor Strange sequel. I do think if something happens where Robert Downey Jr. leaves after Infinity War or they kill off Tony Stark, I think Doctor Strange will become the new Iron Man, like the new face of that universe.
I can see that.
I don't think it's going to be Spider-Man, even though I know he's their most known character. It's still being played by that time a 20-year-old, and I think they'll want like a veteran actor to be established. Because I mean, you got Robert Downey Jr. now, and then you move on to
Benedict.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, can't get any better than that.
Yeah, I know. I see a couple of the primary characters either leaving or taking a hiatus after Infinity War.
Just because we don't know a lot about Thor Ragnarok, like the involvement with the Hulk and everything, like I could see some type of Hulk movie.
If we get Planet Hulk, oh my god.
I would love that.
Oh my god.
I'm seeing them do at least another like Spider-Man movie in
of course.
Phase 4 or whatever they're going to call it.
Guardians 3.
Yeah. I don't know, like, since Civil War was this kind of like culmination, I don't know if they go back to the well with Captain America. Captain Marvel. Have that.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Phase 3 or is that?
I'm not sure. Did you hear the rumor about the Planet Hulk stuff in Thor Ragnarok?
Yes, I heard the rumors of it. I didn't know if it was true or not.
This has to be a joke, but I think it would be hilarious if they did it. You know how in Planet Hulk they had champions of different dimensions that were all in this gladiator type arena fighting each other? They said the champion of Earth would be John Cena. I would laugh hysterically.
That would be awesome.
I'd be for it. That'd be hilarious to me.
Yeah, I'd be cool with me.
Let's see, what do we have for phase?
This is like an old list. It looks like Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, and they're not doing Inhumans anymore.
They're doing the show.
They're doing a show, and then Captain Marvel. So I would see after Infinity War, they're doing more Black Panther because I think that's going to be a very successful character. The thing that's going to tie it all together, I'm not really sure. Secret Wars would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what would be the culminating kind of...
That could be how you bring in the symbiote for Spider-Man.
Yeah. So you got some playing around to do with that and everything. We're not doing it for you, Marvel.
And I will say this for Inhumans, not just because you're on the show with me, but I would love Vin Diesel as Black Bolt.
Oh, I would.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It would be great. I don't know if he'll go from movie to TV star, though. Because a lot of movie actors see that as a downgrade.
That's true.
So
he'd be the perfect choice.
He would be perfect.
Yeah, because he is.
Yeah, he is perfect. I was playing this game. We'll quickly get past this. I was playing this game, Would You Rather? And one of the questions was, would you rather raise a family with Samuel L. Jackson or raise a family with Vin Diesel? That was the easy answer right there, Vin Diesel.
Just watch The Pacifier.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Now, Derek, and his many questions asked about the game awards. It's this week. He asked about which one do you think is going to get Game of the Year and all of this kind of stuff. And he also asked about the third annual PlayStation Experience, or PSX, as us PlayStation people call it, is happening this weekend as well. What do you hope gets announced? We'll do PSX real quick, and then because the topic of the show is pretty much going to be Game Awards because it's going to take some time there.
Now, I will say I don't know that much about PSX. So, like, is it kind of like E3 for PlayStation?
It's where like E3 is their big stuff, and then PSX is kind of like, okay, these are the hardcore fans. Let's announce some stuff that they're going to be excited for. So, like, E3 is like the big pop, and then like it's kind of like Comic-Con and then Disney Experience.
Okay,
so it's kind of like that.
I gotcha.
my predictions, we're going to finally get to change our names on PlayStation Network.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Shuhei. Please, bro.
Make it happen.
Gio Corsi will come out and talk about Vita games. We'll get some Vita games, which I love that. I'm sure we'll get some type of God of War in there.
It would make sense.
I'm kind of fumbling here because I haven't been keeping up with everything. We'll get some kind of features. They'll talk about PSVR. I'm sure they'll be pushing PlayStation Pro like nobody else's business. I'm curious to see what games they announce there. Like, what's going to be the thing that ends the conference? And I'm really, really hoping that it's the Insomniac Spider-Man game that they end the conference
that
with.
I am
Insomniac's
stoked
game.
about. Because I remember that trailer that came out. I think it was at E3. Looked awesome.
Yeah.
It looked like a Spider-Man game that I've waited for years to play, because you actually play as like a more seasoned Spider-Man, and he's always been like a teenager.
Yeah.
But he's actually an adult in this one. His outfit looks awesome. The gameplay looks awesome.
Yeah.
That's something I want to find out more about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully we get some of that. Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm sure they'll put a lot of out there for it, which is going to be freaking amazing. Of course, they'll talk about the Uncharted DLC, I'm sure. And also, Uncharted is going to be doing in mid-December, they're going to be doing a Horde mode. Did you ever play Horde mode in Gears of War?
I did not.
It's like waves of enemies, and you like kill them after they've got a certain number in each waves, and it gets harder as you go. So I'm sure they'll show some of that, show some of the single player DLC. I think PSX it's got to be better than last year. Last year was very lackluster. It's kind of like, so hopefully it'll be a really good showing. And
hopefully so.
I'm assuming that Hideo Kojima will be there to push Death Stranding once again. He just needs to get in the freaking studio and make that daggum game, because he's been everywhere. He was at Tokyo Game Show. He was just like, shut up, bro, and go make a game. This is why things take so long.
Yep.
Now to the Game Awards, and we'll go ahead with Game of the Year, because that's the big one. Which of these 5 games deserve to win Game of the Year? And we'll look at this. Like, it looks nice. This website is great.
Nice and crisp.
Yeah. Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers an absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. The nominees are Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Have you played any of these games on this list?
I have not. But I will say, just from what I've seen, I would probably go with Uncharted.
Okay, yeah. I'm 100% with you on that one. Uncharted is I'm going to go ahead and spoil my Game of the Year, unless I play something like Watch Dogs 2 is in the corners right now of like Game of the Year, because I'm enjoying that game. But Uncharted 4 is A Thief's End is my Game of the Year. So I hope it wins. I know Blizzard did an awesome job with Overwatch. There's a lot of people that really enjoy that game, but it's just a shooter. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're wanting an overall experience, like, Uncharted is a shooter. It has multiplayer. It has an amazing story that wraps up not a trilogy, but it's a
quadrilogy.
Yeah, a quadrilogy. I don't think that's right, but a saga.
There we go.
It wraps up a saga. Titanfall 2, what you even doing there? Inside, I have not played that yet. And then Doom is kind of this like sleeper type deal. Like, I played a little bit of Doom. I've got it. It's great, but I don't think it belongs in the same conversation as Uncharted. Like, to be honest, like, I just don't think it belongs in the same conversation. So, Uncharted is going to be my one. I'm hoping that the great Naughty Dog gets that win there. Best studio / game direction, recognizing a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in a game direction and design. The nominees are Blizzard for Overwatch, DICE for Battlefield 1, id Software for Doom, Naughty Dog for Uncharted 4, Thieves End, Respawn for Titanfall 2. So who do you think is going to win out of these?
So for the studio,
Yeah, like the best game direction.
Again, this is just based off of what I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
DICE for Battlefield 1.
You're right there with me. And, you know, like we've played. I've played a few Battlefield games in the past, you know, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. They're all really good games, but for them to go back to World War I, like, that's ballsy. Like, World War I's not very known. Mm-mm. It's, you know, this kind of, like, time era that people really don't recognize with and everything. And when it's competitor, the people that they are competing against, like, tooth and nail every year, Call of Duty like jumps into the future, into space and everything, and they're going back in time. I think it was a great choice because Battlefield 1 resonates so well. You know, Blizzard with Overwatch, I think it was a great game. I think it resonated really well with other people. I just don't really care about it. Doom, you know, going from the survival horror of Doom 3 to the new Doom to the fast-paced, you know, kind of cheesy, like 80s kind of like, you know, horror game or whatever, not really horror, but fast-paced shooter, I think was a great idea, but I don't think it matches up with Battlefield, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't give Naughty Dog it would be because it's another Uncharted game. It's not a new game. It's a continuation. Same thing with Respawn for Titanfall. Like, it's not a new game. They're making up for mistakes that they didn't have in the first one. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Firewatch by Campo Santo, Inside by Playdead, Mafia 3 by Hangar 13 and 2K Games, Oxenfree by Night School Studio, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End by Naughty Dog. So this is best narrative.
Best narrative.
No, you've played none of these, right?
Correct.
Okay.
This would probably be really tough for me to pick, just because I didn't follow the story from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. I'd say either Uncharted or Mafia 3.
Okay. Now, I've played Uncharted. I played a little bit of Mafia 3, and I played all the way through Firewatch. If Firewatch would have executed all the way through, I could give them this. I could give them this, but they screwed the pooch, and the end felt very rushed, and I felt very unsatisfied with it. Now, it did have an emotional kind of like change in me, like I had to think about life a little bit, but it was me. It was me, I think, thinking deeper than the game was actually meaning. But Mafia 3 is such a. I want to play it, but it sucks so bad in the gameplay. Like, the story is really cool, but I cannot sink the time in to get through the story because the gameplay is so freaking bad. And I know this is story, but yeah. I'm talking about the things that I know. And Uncharted 4, like, at the end of this game, I felt this kind of, like, bittersweet sadness type deal. Like, I'm like, oh, wow, I just finished this epic story. I got to know all of these characters. I got to spend all this time with them. This is amazing, but I'm sad that I'm having to leave this world, have to leave this universe and these characters behind. So I would go with Uncharted 4 on that one. Now, we're not voting for any of these, but, you know. Best art direction. Art direction. I can't even speak. Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
Best art direction. I do like the look of Firewatch a lot. Mm-hmm. Abzu looks very unique. Uncharted 4 has a nice realistic look to it.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Firewatch.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The first time I saw Firewatch, I'm like, wow, this is so different. Like, it looks really cool. And playing the game, I was like, this environment, like, I want to stay here. I want to enjoy it. Like, I took my time playing the game just because it was such a beautiful world. And Abzu, I never played it. Inside, I never played it, so I can't really attest to it. Overwatch, I've saw it. It looks like a good game, but it's not like, oh, this is, you know.
Yeah.
And Uncharted, like you said, it is realistic game. It's gorgeous, but if you're talking about art direction, something that really strikes you, you can look at Uncharted and be like, oh, that's really great graphics, and then you could look at Firewatch and be like, wow, that's really pretty art.
Yeah.
So that's why I would give them that. We can skip that one. Best performances. Now this one
would probably be more up your alley.
Yeah. Best performances awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and performance capture. Now, I find this very interesting because this does not section off as male and female. It is all together. And the nominees are Alex Hernandez as Lincoln Clay in Mafia 3, Sissy Jones as Delilah in Firewatch, Emily Rose as Elena in Uncharted 4, Nolan North as Nathan Drake, Rich Sommer as Henry, Troy Baker as Sam Drake in Uncharted 4. Thankfully, I've played all of these, so I can kind of attest to them. I have not played enough of Mafia 3 to really talk about Alex Hernandez's portrayal, but from what I saw, it was pretty good. Sissy Jones, I really like the character Delilah. Like, she's very likable. Even, I made the character cheat on his wife in a way, I'm not going to lie about it, with her, just because she was this really interesting character. I really wanted to see her, and then you screwed the pooch, Campo Santo. Emily as Elena, just it's like going home. It's the normal. Nolan North always doing a great job. Rich Sommer as Henry, an amazing job. I think, I've never heard of the guy before, but I think he did well. But Troy Baker as Sam Drake, bringing a character to life in this universe that you already know the main characters. Like, how they should act, how they are going to portray things. But him bringing a new character and making him feel like he belongs in that world is a hard feat. So I would give Troy Baker this one.
Troy Baker is always a safe choice.
Oh yeah, this is just amazing. And then there's tons. There's tons more, and we're not going to talk about those because we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up with a bow on top.
Let's do it.
Like a gift. Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 3, A New Frontier, has finally got a release date.
About time.
Yeah, they lied to you at the last Game Awards. Just saying. They lied to you. Said it was going to be 2016, but it's not. For players, no, maybe I am lying. Oh, it is this year. I looked at this date. The New Frontier is out December 30th. I'm sorry, Telltale. I lied about it.
They're barely squeaking by.
Barely. So zombies for Christmas.
I know a lot of people who would enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. I loved the Walking Dead series so far, so looking forward to getting to play this. Excited to see where it goes. So hopefully it doesn't suck.
I'm sure it won't.
And then that answers pretty much all of Derek's questions except for Final Fantasy 15 will finally be available for the masses this Tuesday. Do you think it will be well received and live up to the 10-year wait?
Do I think it will be received well? Yes. Live up to the 10-year wait? No.
I want to play it, but I'm not going to waste my money. So there you go. And I've never played Final Fantasy, and
I have not either.
I think they've got a lot to live up to. So,
the only Final Fantasy that I would play would be the remastered Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that does it. That's been a pretty long episode as it is.
A good one, though.
Yeah, a good one. There you go. We still did not answer your question, Adam.
I'll answer it on Wednesday when we do our wrestling podcast, Battle of the Brands. Oh, I wanted to close out by asking you this.
Okay.
What did you think of the Goldberg thing?
Man, Goldberg looks like a freaking beast. Like, that was ridiculous.
I could not believe it. I got back from Atlanta, and for those who don't know, I'm talking about the Goldberg-Lesnar match at Survivor Series. I got home around 7-ish. Mm-hmm. But what I had done was Sarah drove, like, starting at 6, so I could watch Survivor Series on my phone. Mm-hmm. So that way I wouldn't be too far behind. Got to the Goldberg match, and this is what happened. Lesnar comes out, Goldberg comes out, which his entrance was still awesome.
Goldberg.
He gets in the ring, the bell rings, Lesnar picks Goldberg up, rams him into the turnbuckle. Goldberg just shoves him, knocks him down.
Like, when he just shoved him, it looked like a paper rag.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty awesome. So then Lesnar gets up, Goldberg spears him. And I'm like, okay, they're making Goldberg just look really strong right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Lesnar gets up, sells it great, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was actually impressed
Yeah.
at Lesnar selling.
Because he hasn't had to do it in 2 years.
Yeah.
He spears him again. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, there's no way this is going to happen. Goldberg picks him up, hits the jackhammer. What I thought was going to happen was he was going to kick out at 2 and just throw Goldberg off and then just start.
Yeah.
But no, he beat him 1, 2, 3. And
Clean.
I jumped off the couch and I said, you have got to be kidding me. And Sarah looks at me like, what? And I said, this guy has not been touched in 2 years. This guy broke The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak, which was the biggest deal in the entire WWE. He destroyed John Cena, their golden boy, in like a 10-minute match where Cena did not get one bit of offense in.
Yeah.
And he got beat in less than a minute and a half by Goldberg.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
Now, I'm hoping that it doesn't turn into Goldberg going to the Royal Rumble, Brock screwing it up, him going for like a title match, and then they fight at WrestleMania.
I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I don't want that to happen because then it's Goldberg putting over Brock Lesnar. I want Goldberg to put somebody over that needs it.
That would be nice.
Like, there's no, like, Brock Lesnar is not a reliable person in this industry. Like, there's no reason to put him over anymore. He is a beast. This is a way for him to kind of step away if he wants to step away and do whatever he wants to.
I will say if something happened where Lesnar wasn't going to be in the WWE anymore, then it would have been perfect. Mm-hmm. Because then Goldberg can go on and then put someone else over as, I beat the guy who beat the guy who beat The Undertaker.
Yeah. It made him look like a fool.
Yeah.
Like, put over Braun Strowman or put over, somebody that's up and coming.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point of...
And that's why a lot of people were upset about it, because they wanted someone like a Braun Strowman or a Samoa Joe when he comes up to WWE, or someone else to get that rub from Lesnar. But it got people interested.
Yeah, I'm interested.
There's one of the wrestling podcasts I listen to. They always do a post-pay-per-view show, and they all said, for the first time in a long time, I can't wait to see Raw and see what they do.
Mm-hmm. Did you see Adam Blumplade's reaction?
Yeah. It was awesome.
I can't wait to see what happens. I hope they do it the right way. Don't put Lesnar over. Like, Lesnar's already big as he can get. Like, if he beats Goldberg, then he's back to where he was.
And the thing that I'm excited about is the fact that Goldberg has gotten the reaction that he's had since coming back. Because I was worried that no one would remember him. But when he came back that first night, people went ballistic. Mm-hmm. And people went ballistic at the Survivor Series match. And then the night after, when he was on Raw and said he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, everyone, they were chanting Goldberg for a good 2 minutes before he started talking. And it was awesome.
Now, I wonder if WWE pulls the trigger and puts Roman Reigns over. Like, do you think that would be the only way Roman Reigns would actually finally get the respect that WWE wants for him? Because they are trying so freaking hard.
They're trying again, and you can tell they're starting to slowly push him back up the ladder, and people are starting to boo him again. Because what he was doing now, if he had started that in the beginning, then he would be over like crazy. But it was obvious that this is the guy WWE wants to be the main guy, to be John Cena's successor.
Yeah.
And the fans didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he gets crapped on more than he should.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't really have an issue with him.
He's not the people's champ though.
No, but who is?
The Rock.
I will say I've been very happy with how they've been using like their legends, like when they brought Sting back a couple of years ago, how they brought Goldberg back. So I'm hoping it becomes like a yearly thing where they'll bring back, some legend for like a last little run.
Not Dusty Rhodes though. Do your Dusty Rhodes impression.
If you will.
I love it.
I'm hoping for next year we get the Olympic champion Kurt Angle back.
You know who I want?
Who?
Hulk Hogan. Bring him back.
I think now that lawsuit's gone, they should. I think enough time's gone by where you can do it. Just bring him back at WrestleMania. He'll get a good reaction because it's in Florida and that's where he lives.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I think Kurt Angle would be cool, though.
Yeah. He was one of my favorites. So
You know who else they should bring back?
Great Khali.
Benoit. Oh, you can't.
On that note, thank you guys for listening and watching to episode 186 of the Nerd Cave podcast. You can find us all over social media. We're all over the social media machines. We have an awesome Facebook group, which we took questions from today. Just go to Facebook, search for Nerd Cave, join the discussion. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Nerd Cave Vids.
I've been tearing it up Instagram stuff.
We have, yeah. It's been good to see.
Now it's just going to go back downhill because we're all going back to work.
Yeah. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. But what about our awesome YouTube channels?
Guys, we have awesome YouTube channels. You might be watching on our YouTube channel. One of our main ones is Nerd Cave, which you're watching on right now. You go youtube.com/Nerd Cave Network. That's the URL for it. We put up our podcast segment by segment each day until we hit Friday where you get it all. Or you can go check us over at patreon.com/Nerd Cave and get it early for $5 simple dollars.
Yep.
And you can support us.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
And then we have our gaming channel, Nerd Cave. Jesus Christ. Nerd Cave Gaming, which we put up Let's Plays all throughout the week for your enjoyment. Throwback Thursdays is coming back.
We'll be back this week with
vengeance.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've been going through a Ninja Turtle phase recently.
I can see from your posts.
Yeah. I'll be playing the SNES game, Turtles in Time, basically just like the old Ninja Turtles arcade game. Just a little more modern, a little bit better graphics, better storyline, in my opinion. So check that out on Thursday over at Nerd Cave Gaming. And we also have multiple podcasts that we do throughout the week. Every Monday, we have Nerd Cave Retro with myself and Jason Robbins, where we discuss retro gaming. Tuesday, we have... Well, actually, we don't have a show on Tuesday. Wednesday, used to, yes. Still in that mind frame. Wednesday, we have Fantasy Football for Nerds with myself and Robbie Rawls. We give you the latest fantasy football injury updates and hopefully tips that will help you win in your league. On Thursdays, we have the Derek Diamond Experience and our wrestling podcast, Battle of the Brands. Friday, we have this show, the Nerd Cave Podcast. And Saturdays, we have our friends over at the Pop Culture Palette.
Yeah, guys. Make sure you check out all those awesome podcasts. Our YouTube channels. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube right now. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go with new videos. I've missed you.
Missed you too. This was a good episode.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
And hopefully all three of us will be back next week.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have an upcoming live show.
Yeah, December 27th.
So mark your calendar.
Yeah. End of the year.
Best of 2016.
Yeah.
We'll have...
just a picture of me.
That's what the thumbnail should be. Just a picture of Zach. No, we'll be doing a live podcast where we'll be recapping and reviewing the year that was 2016. We'll be doing, myself and Robbie will be doing a live fantasy football podcast. And we'll have quite a few Let's Plays, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe some more cooking with Robbie.
And I will be accepting Robbie's final challenge to the Disney Song Challenge.
The final chapter.
The final chapter. And if I win this one, which I will because I'm a champ, I'm going to get a belt made. And I'm going to wear it. and I'm never going to accept another challenge.
I should get one made and just put it right here. That would be awesome. Just get it in the shape of Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh yeah. Then I might have to fight Wally.
That'd be a tough one because Wally loves his Disney.
He does love his Disney.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching and listening. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Have a week.